As we know, Team DR is finally set off to play in the next couple of days for World Baseball Classic, and today I just want to explain to you guys why I think Team Dominican Republic can win the World Baseball Classic and how they could get there. This is going to be similar to my Team USA video, so with that being said, before we get into the video, please let me know in the comment section down below. Do you guys think Team Dominican Republic can take it all the way? I think personally when they face off against maybe Japan or something like that in the semis or the quarters, it's going to get very interesting rather quickly. Now personally, I think Team Dominican Republic is stacked this year, and with that being said, let's get straight into it with our catching position. For our catching position, we do have some notable names. We have people like Gary Sanchez and Francisco Mija. For example, I think Gary Sanchez, of course he hasn't been signed yet to any major league team, he's still looking out for a deal. I think Gary Sanchez is a power bat. Of course Gary Sanchez isn't known for his defense, and of course Francisco is kind of similar to Gary. Of course Gary has produced better numbers or something like that, so I expect Gary to be your number one catcher. Now with that being said, let's get straight into the infield, because the infield, man, it's even better than Team USA in my opinion. You got Willie Adames from the Brewers, a guy that can play defense and hit the ball really well. You got Robinson Cano. Yes, of course, he kind of ruined his reputation with the pet thing and things like that, but still, it's Robinson Cano, man. He's still gonna do some really nice plays, either at second or shortstop, wherever they want to play him or something like that. You still got Ralphie Devers, the guy that just mashes home runs, man. I'm a big fan of Devers, even though, of course, I'm a Yankees fan, but Devers is exciting to watch. He's a guy that will hit for power. He can also field decently. I know a lot of people think that he might end up playing first base down the line, but I think Ralphie Devers is of course great at your third base position. Then you got Wander Franco from the Rays. Wander Franco, of course, is an enigma. He's a guy that will constantly do really well as long as he stays hot, is what I'm saying. Then you got someone like Manny Machado, which personally I don't know if they're gonna have him at DH or have Rafael Devers at DH. It's gonna be interesting to see where they actually play each other, but personally I think Manny Machado is a staple of this team after destroying that solo homer to get the Dominican Republic on the board against the US in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. That moment was memorable. Manny Machado has been Team DR for the last couple of years. He's a guy that will consistently be Team DR, and I'm glad he's back on this roster. I'm glad he's playing again. It's great. And then you got someone like Ketel Marte, the freight train. It is exciting to watch. He's a double hitter, man. Ketel Marte and his team is just stellar. Then you have someone like Jeremy Pena, the World Series MVP, the guy, the young kid that's taking over everything. He's the guy, man. You know, the Astros had a big problem. They thought that they wouldn't be able to replace someone like a Carlos Correa. They thought they should have maybe paid him a little more, but Jeremy Pena upset everyone and really shocked the world, especially when he had a stellar performance in the playoffs and all that just by being a rookie. So I expect Jeremy Pena to do really well. I mean, the dude looks yoked right now. He looks extremely big, and I think that Jeremy Pena going into the WBC, he wants to prove that he can be a star for years to come. Of course, got Jean Segura coming off of that World Series run. Jean Segura is someone that is a streaky hitter too, in my opinion. Of course, he could play everywhere pretty much in the infield, so of course the infielders are going to rotate and things like that. Jean Segura is a solid bat. He's a contact bat in my opinion. He's a guy that will get on base. He's a guy that you'll probably have in your maybe like I would say 7th slot or even 8th or 9th, something to get that first batter in the lineup back up again. And you guys also got Nelson Cruz, which of course I personally think he's going to be playing DH. He's just too old to do things like first base. Of course he can still play first base, but I think Nelson Cruz is just going to be a DH bat on the bench. And then for your outfielders, you got Teoscar Hernandez, which now plays for the Mariners after that whole trade debacle. Teoscar Hernandez is someone that I personally believe he is very underrated. Of course, we know he was a big prospect in the Blue Jays system, and he's someone that has continued to shine for years to come after his debut. I think Teoscar Hernandez is someone that is going to do really well in the outfield, and I personally think he's another one of those contact bat, might hit a home run here and there just in this whole tournament. I personally think this is a great person to have in your outfield. And of course, in the outfield, you have someone like Eloy Jimenez. He's kind of on the same level for me with Teoscar Hernandez. They just do really well. And then you got two of my favorite people in the outfield in all of baseball. You got Julio Rodriguez and Juan Soto. So let me talk about Julio, because Julio shocked the world. No one expected him to be this good when he came up in 2022. He had something to prove for himself, and he's definitely earned the nickname J-Rod. I personally think that this WBC, Julio Rodriguez, as long as Team DR makes it pretty far, this dude's gonna hit like 2 to 3 to 4 home runs. He's gonna steal like 5 bags. He's a guy that runs super quick. He plays really good defense, and he just brings that energy you need, man. He just has that spunk, that youth that you need to have on this roster alongside someone like a Jeremy Pena. I think Julio Rodriguez is amazing for this roster, and speaking of amazing, they have Juan Soto, one of the best baseball players in all of baseball. He is someone that maybe had an off season last year, right, with the Padres and Nationals. Juan Soto is the type of guy that you have to give him some time to warm up a little bit and get really into that groove of baseball. And of course, we know last year he did have that trade as well, where he got traded to the Padres. And I personally think this WBC, Juan Soto is going to be around all his people from Team Dominican Republic, and he is just going to play amazingly. I'm excited to see some Juan Soto shuffles on some teams that might not want it to happen. Who knows? Maybe a fight breaks loose or something like that. But it's the WBC. Juan Soto is built for these moments. He's a guy that loves the attention, the attraction from fans. He loves the energy. He just likes playing in competitive baseball. And I personally think Juan Soto is going to hit at least one clutch home run in his WBC. Mark my words, we'll go back on this video eventually when the whole thing is over. Now, with that being said, if you guys didn't think that lineup wasn't enough, right? You didn't think that had enough all-stars on that lineup? Well, let's get to the pitching rotation. Now, the pitching rotation has Cy Young caliber pitchers and Cy Young winners. You have Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins. He's going to be your ace of your rotation. He's someone that has continued to be a workhorse for the Marlins for the last couple of years. He's someone that kind of got snuck into a deal a long time ago in a trade, and he's continued to prove his worth for the Marlins franchise. You have people like Johnny Cueto, which kind of rebuilt his career. Now he plays for the same team as Sandy Alcantara. He is someone that continues to prove why it's okay if something fails one season and you fix it next season and you're perfectly fine. He's someone that will do really well. You have really good people like Luis Garcia. He's in the Padres staff. You have Yimi Garcia for the Blue Jays. And personally, two of my favorite pitchers, you have Cristian Javier on the Astros. You have Rafael Montero for the Astros as well. These two pitchers, in my opinion, are going to be cornerstones of Team DR's pitching staff. Cristian Javier is someone that I expect to win a Cy Young in the next 3 years. If you look at this guy's numbers, they are insane. They're off the charts. This guy has proven his worth for the Astros, and really, Astros got him on a steal of a deal because they signed him for, I think, like less than like 50 grand at the time. This guy has been putting up amazing numbers. He has disgustingly good pitches, and of course, on speaking of disgustingly pitches, Rafael Montero is someone that is just disgusting when he comes in to close a game or even set up that closer at the end of the game. I think those two will be a cornerstone of your pitching staff for Team DR in the World Baseball Classic. And of course, you do have some other names in the pitching staff, but those to me were just the personal ones that I feel like mean the most with Team DR. But this is what a projected lineup would look like, right? You got Sandy Alcantara as your pitcher. You have Gary Sanchez as your catcher, Manny Machado as your third baseman, Jeremy Pena as your shortstop, Wander Franco as your second baseman. You got Candelario as your first baseman. You got Juan Soto in right field. You got Julio Rodriguez in center field and Teoscar Hernandez in left field. This team is stacked, let alone the pitching staff having some of the best pitching staffs from the DR involved in it. I think Team DR has a good chance to make it far in the World Baseball Classic. Of course, Robinson Cano is your captain just because people love him over here, even if people don't love him as much here. Personally, I was a big Robinson Cano fan growing up. I loved watching him play. Now, what do you guys think in the comment section down below? Do you guys think Robinson Cano and the Dominican Republic can make it all the way to the finals and win the whole thing? I know it was super close against Team USA, and I don't know, maybe we'll get a repeat of 2017 and see what happens nowadays with this new Dominican Republic roster. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Joe. Have a great day, night, or whenever you're watching this. Bye.